Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
And I'm Scott Wakefield, host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham, where we talk about comic books and all kinds of great storytelling, sometimes with incredible guests. And we want you to join us Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Well, it's the Wham Show, hosted by me. I killed Scott. I did it. They can't stop me. I'm the host now. I have all the power.
Ran them all away. You have taken over. I was going to say we.
Was
but
that
you
the
have taken over.
prospector voice that introduced yourself? Well, I'm so glad.
So it was like
The
a slightly off pitch
wildest
The
ride
Big
in the
Show
wilderness.
intro song. Alrighty. Well, yes. I am the host tonight. This is Silverline Wednesday Night Wham. I am Tim TK, associate editor and producer / seducer. And joining me tonight doing art is Haley Martin. Haley, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, well, I'm Haley Martin. I'm currently working on the art, doing all the art, sketch, ink, colors, everything for upcoming Silverline title Bear. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Excellent. And
I'm
where
from
are
Florida. I say where we're
Florida,
from.
yeah. I'm in Oregon. And Mr. Thomas Flormonti Jr.
Hello, everybody. Well, we already said my name, Thomas Flormonti Jr. I am in Orlando, Florida. I'm currently inking for Silverline the Trunks book, which we just crowdfunded, and I'm also now inking. Well, we got the second issue of that to start working on. We'll get to that pretty much here in the next month or so. But I'm currently inking the Silverline crossover book, the team up book, not crossover book, the team up book called Champion and Miss Fury, which I'll be showing some inks from a little later tonight,
Yes.
in a few minutes. I don't know, something. And I'm also the co-owner of the printing company, Kablam Digital Printing, the #1 comic book printing company in the world. What? Next.
All right. And Brent.
I'm Brent Larson. I'm the writer and creator, or rather creator and writer of the Silverline book Kalis. I'm also writing and creating, co-creating an upcoming Silverline book called Cape Town. And I also want to register a complaint that no one ever wants to see a live stream of the writer writing, which is uncool, man.
Why don't we start doing that?
I wanted to do like some writing streams on my own channel, but figuring that out is weird because our entire job essentially involves all of these spoilers. Like with art, you can be kind of vague or choose and show what you're arting, but
Well,
Yeah.
I figured maybe we're doing a wide shot, but I just keep realizing that I don't want people to see how I write, because then they'll really just start going, dude, writers don't actually do anything, which I don't want to perpetuate that myth.
Right.
So maybe, all right, I take it back. Complaint retracted.
And you're currently an amorphous void, a name in the void, John Medic. This camera may be joining us shortly.
Hey, y'all.
There he is.
There he is.
How's it going?
All right.
That's good. We're good. John, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what you're doing, where you're from.
John Medic. I am the creator, writer, editor, pre-press guy for Sniper and Rook, coming soon from Silverline. I need to get off my butt on that and make 2021 happen. I am unfortunately from the state of Illinois, and I'm glad to be here tonight. I've missed my friends, and I've missed everybody out there.
Exactly. And audience, we have missed you too, dear listeners. In the chat, Royal Airships, Mr. Rory Boyle. Hey, sorry all, we're working on a sinking boat. I'm with you in spirit. All right, well, don't die. That would not be great for the Steam Patriots brand. And of course,
Also for humanity.
Yes. Our priorities here. And of course, we are brought to you this year by Daytona Beach Comic Con. Dates pending. It looks like they have fall winter on DaytonaBeachComicCon.com with locations and updates listed. So look for us there and go to DaytonaBeachComicCon.com for all updates on the original and longest running comic book, toy, and collectible convention in Daytona Beach, Florida. Now, great, now that our branding is out of the way, we are here to talk about only the most pressing subject on everyone's mind.
The most depressing?
Pressing, depressing.
Oh.
Politics?
Pneumatic pressing. That is our personal picks, our best of for the year of 2020. And the rules for tonight's subject are, it doesn't need to have come out in 2020. You merely need to have experienced it during your quarantine there. Then we're talking books, games, movies, your animes, your manga, flavors of Four Loko, whatever you experienced in the year 2020. So.
Is that still a thing?
Yes. I did a history of Four Loko, and it's coming back on my own stream, so I won't go into detail here.
Four Loko is still a thing.
Yeah. They had to take out the caffeine content because a lot of people died, so now it's just a tremendous amount of horribly sugared alcohol. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they always take away the good stuff. I miss my Xanadrine, let me tell you, man. Etc. Woo! Good times.
Oh, man. I'm just glad you can still get Surge, even though I have to go to Burger King for it.
You know what?
Wow.
I have been part of SaveSurge.org since like the 2000s and early 2000s. Then when Vault came out, I was stoked. One of my students, because they piloted it in Michigan, came back with 16 cases for me. I had them all in my pantry, and I never knew that cans will actually start to deflate and liquid come out if you leave cans alone for too long. So I had all these cans because I was trying to ration them. That leaked out into my pantry. Didn't know about it. Totally molded my drywall. So that was the first time in my life I ever got to read drywall stuff. That was pretty cool. Learning experience.
Yeah. Was that over the case of like months or years, or?
They were in there probably for like 2 years.
Okay, I was gonna say if it's less than a year, you may have just had some bad composites in the plastic there.
No. And actually, it might even been longer now that I think about it.
There you go.
But yeah, it was longer now that I think about it. It might have been like 4. So,
did you like it? I've had it a couple of times, and I
Vault was
didn't think
great.
it was all that great. Oh, really?
It wasn't Surge, but like
it was. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it wasn't Surge, but it was. It hit the same buttons, it hit the same spots. Boba Fett says, "Hold up." John, you're a little laggy, and I feel like we're all talking over each other, and I feel like you may have just frozen.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I turned off my.
His kids are playing with their new PlayStation in the other room.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, John has become a Cylon.
His eye starts going back and forth.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bye, York, man.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn my video off if that's okay.
Oh,
there you go.
That's much better.
that
I
saved your
mean, not
bandwidth.
because
Yeah.
we can't see you. You're actually
Yeah.
very handsome gentleman. So
Can we put in like a placeholder image
Oh,
for you?
well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Very kindly.
All right.
all right.
Amy Stephanie says, "Imagine what that does to your insides." It does magic and all things nice to your insides.
I use it to clean my brushes with and stuff from when I was
It
inking.
does magic to your brushes too.
There you
Yeah.
go. Callisto Official says, "Hello, my friends. Hello, Callisto. Hope you're having a great day." So what we can actually do, we do have a Kickstarter coming up, and that is going to be Switchblade #1 of the Remix Edition, and I believe another title by one Mr. John Crowther, known as Teen Beetle. And that is going to be launching shortly here. So what we're going to do, we have a placeholder image from Silverline's own Roberta Conroy with some Switchblade art. So I'm going to place that over John's icon. So John is now Switchblade. So we have some promo art.
That
to
is
feature
awesome.
there.
It's an upgrade.
There you go. So John is no longer your average American educator. He is now a vigilante throwing knives.
So he's living the dream.
Well,
yes.
that's what I
Whatever
usually do on
dedicated.
weekends. How's that different?
There you go. It's, if you're ever in Chicago and you're underneath a giant bean, and you see a masked man throwing blades at passersby. It's John.
It's Mr. John. That is correct.
Alrighty. So our subject tonight, as we talked about, is our best of picks for 2020. Hopefully, we have vamped enough so people can collect their thoughts. So why don't we start from the bottom of my screen? Because we'll start from the bottom, and at the end we'll be there, or here, as the rappers say. Mr. Brent Larson, what are some of your picks for the year of our great Squid Lord 2020?
Right. Okay. You know, one thing that I've really enjoyed in 2020 was I finally really started to get to read all the Sandman trades that I've collected but have been too busy to read. And they're just so great. Neil Gaiman is truly kind of a genius. And frankly, I envy his talent, and his stories are just so great. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy how he takes a concept and he runs with it, but then he ends up pretty much just doing whatever he wants and then sprinkling in some Sandman lore to make it legit, I guess. And it's such a brilliant way to do a story. So I thought that was great. Something a little more contemporary that just occurred to me is I'm really enjoying Robert Kirkman's Firepower for Image. Basically, it's just a story about a dude with a family who was also raised by ninjas and can throw fireballs, but really just wants to live the normal life. And it sounds cliche at first, but he really kind of pulls it off in terms of keeping this family dynamic front and center. Something that Dan Slott is actually doing really well with Fantastic Four right now. And I feel like I really enjoy that in comics because I don't see it as often anymore. So how's that for a start? I can't throw everything out at once, can I? Because I don't know. I need more time to think
That's
about it.
perfectly acceptable.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Tommy, do you have any preemptive picks for 2020?
Well, you know, I'm gonna kind of let everybody down. I feel like because of the Kablam printing and Indie Planet, which is our online our comic shop. You think I would have seen plenty of stuff, but because of the fact that we're working, such skeleton crew at the office, I barely, the past year or since COVID started and everything, I haven't seen much of anything. We're just hauling butt the entire time, just making sure books are printing right And and I haven't been in a comic shop this entire time because we're making sure that I'm trying to stay healthy and all that kind of stuff and not get my business partner and whoever else might be at the office. We're trying to stay super safe, so I've not done a whole lot of stuff. But I've watched a lot of TV, a lot of Hallmark Channel stuff. I love me some Hallmark Channel. Oh yeah.
Really?
All right.
I mean, I say that with no irony or judgment. Really?
My wife is over there.
Okay. Really?
But no, I enjoy it. It's fun to watch. I mean, it's the same, it's the same script on every show, but
sure,
they're pretty fun. But no, the one of the shows that I'll talk about a show that I feel like, and I only watched it this year. I heard about it over the past several years. It finally ended last year. Is Schitt's Creek. Have y'all seen Schitt's Creek? I know this has nothing to do with the comics or anything.
Not yet. Well, we're accepting any form of media, and that is also on my to-watch list.
Schitt's Creek it's really, really good. I felt when we watched, we knew that the last season was coming up, and so it was 4 or 5 seasons, so we just binge watched all of it, and it was really touching. It was great acting in it. It was a beautiful show, and the only thing that I thought poorly about it was the fact that I had not been watching it through all this time to support it, because it really deserved my support throughout the several years that it was on. And I just was like, I wasn't there to support this excellent show because it's but it was Schitt's Creek's good, but the Expanse is excellent. I don't know if anybody's been watching it this season. I guess this might be the last seasons for what we're been told.
I heard there might be one more.
Yeah, I believe there's one more after this, and I think that's it.
Yeah, but I just picked up the books because I'm right now I believe they're at 9 or so books. So there's
I got a subscription to Audible a year or two ago, and so I ended up just getting them all. I hadn't listened to them all, but I've got them all. I try to listen to that kind of stuff while I'm at the office. But Discovery's been pretty cool. I don't know if anybody's been watching that, the new the Star Trek show.
I still have yet to watch any of it. I know Scott has recommended it to me. So have you.
Yeah, it's been great. It they this season finally, just a little silliness. This season answered the fact, when you watch the very first season, I guess this is the 3rd season, there were all of the ships and all of this, the sets and all the stuff were really futuristically looking neat, but it was supposed to take place before classic Trek, right?
Right.
I don't want to spoil anything, but they figured out how to fix that. They went into the future, so it didn't work.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
I've never seen a DeLorean in Star Trek. You're making this up. They don't need the lithium. They have
they got the spore drive. Come on now.
That seems like it'd be a hook in a Terry Pratchett book. The universal rule of all science fiction: you have a DeLorean to time travel.
Yeah, loving that stuff, and then of course Mando and the kid. Gotta watch you some Mandalorian. That's been excellent. Mando and the kid.
I've been loving Mandalorian as well. There's
been some rumors that Disney's actually this is just rumors, but because the Star Wars area over there is not quite doing as popular, because people are wanting some of the characters that they know rather than from the last 3 movies, that they're gonna start incorporating there you go some of the other characters into the land. So that'd be cool. See Mando and the kid. They're going to kind of, from what I've seen a few sketch kind of things, they're going to kind of do. So Mando's going to, the hold on, I got one right here. So
inside information, exclusive leak on Silverline.
Whoops, knocking stuff down. So how you got the little Mando, or the little kid, right? So Mando can hold the little puppet, and it's going to be one of those things where his arm is inside, so he can control the puppet. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool, wouldn't it? That'd be really neat.
I saw a TikTok the other day of someone, I believe is either in downtown LA or downtown Orlando, but they're driving on one of the main thoroughfares, and in the bike lane to the side was a guy dressed up as Mando on a battery-powered longboard with.
We know. My wife actually worked with some people that I don't think they were part of the 501st, but they had. There was one guy that had a really, it was a white Ninja kind of motorbike, one of those crotch rocket kind of motorbikes and stuff. That he had a full stormtrooper outfit that he would wear on it, and it was really cool when he would drive into work and stuff. Yeah, it was
All right,
really.
my
really
webcam has died, so work on that in the background. Haley, do you have any picks for the year?
I just
of
got
2020?
something weird about Zoom meetings.
Oh, I think that's
Weird.
I think that was what was weird.
Doesn't get any weirder than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you got, Miss Haley?
Oh, so what was the prompt again? So it could be anything.
Anything, and we'll probably do a couple rounds of this just to give us time to collect all of our different thoughts on all the different things we have consumed.
A big one that comes to me, if we can talk about video games, was Animal Crossing. I know that's true for a lot of people.
Yeah, that was a cultural moment.
It was, yeah. I bought my Switch maybe like a month after the game came out, so I was like, I gotta do it.
Hey Haley, I actually picked up the Animal Crossing Switch. It is so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yep. That came out at people are like, did Nintendo plan this, like making this game come out when we're all stuck at home? Like
Nintendo is behind.
It was Tom Nook all along.
It was, yeah.
They backed in though.
There you go.
Huh. Cool.
Alrighty. John, have you contributed yet to the group conversation, to the class?
No, but I can. So things that I'm grateful for and enjoyed. Definitely Mandalorian.
Yes.
That was great. I was shocked with the way that Lucasfilm had to come out with that last episode and make all the announcements about the big scene at the the spoilers and all that.
Yeah.
Because I can't believe that somebody would actually put on YouTube the private Yoda and Yaddle video. So now we all know where Baby Yoda came from. But I think that was kind of like really an invasion of private. Nobody's laughing or.
Yeah.
I think that's just a really deep cut.
Yeah.
It's a very deep cut.
Laughing. Got it.
I'm sure it was awesome.
All right. All right. Anyway,
I choked on my Gatorade, so you got that.
Anyway, no. Mandalorian was good at the beginning. At the beginning of the year, Orville season 2, I picked that up on DVD. That was great. Can't wait for season 3, and they've changed providers, so I'm looking forward to that. Cobra Kai, I watched at the beginning of the year. I bought the DVDs back in January. I watched that season 1, season 2. So now I'm stoked about watching season 3 since that's dropped. Other things, I haven't, much like Tommy, I haven't been in comic stores or keeping up with books too much. But there is one that started coming out with promo art that I am totally excited about. I've not been excited about, pretty much anything Marvel's done for I don't know how long. But Fabian, whose last name I could never pronounce right, Nicienza,
something like that.
Yeah.
and no disrespect, so Fabian, with all of his accolades, is actually going back and doing the story he wanted to about the third Summers brother.
Mm-hmm.
And promo art started coming out in the end of 2000. It's drawn by Brett Booth, who is one of my all-time favorite artists, inked by Adelso Corona, who is one of my all-time favorite inkers and artists. And I'm totally stoked about that coming out in 2021. So seeing that promo art made me pretty happy.
Right.
So
in the YouTube chat, Roland has given us a pronunciation guide using the Webster's Common Format. Nicieza.
Thank you, Roland. I appreciate it.
I haven't been able to sleep for years because of that.
So those are, it's been a lot of the media. I do, much like Tommy, I want to watch Discovery. I've got the first 2 seasons on disc. I won't spoil anything for anybody who hasn't watched, but there's a reason why I have to watch Discovery. Part of the first season premise deals directly with my favorite episode from the original series, and I always have to watch everything that's associated with that. So that one is going to be something that's coming up too. And I did just pick up, I just found out about this. If anybody remembers a book from the 80s, Whisper, had a couple different publishers, including First Comics. It was by Stephen Grant, Rich Larson, some other folks too. They just started putting out omnibus editions, and I just got the first one in the mail this week. It came out in 2020. So I can't wait to sit down and read this thing. This thing is huge. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right, I'll share some of my comic learnings from last year. What I'm what I'm most looking forward to from last year, which I have refused to go into yet until it's collected, is X of Swords. But also I still have to see House of X and Powers of X, because Marvel just decided, like, what if we had 3-year-long arcs, made them all tie in together, and also made Cable a big part of that, and Cable being my favorite mutant. I just at some point I'm just going to throw my credit card at Comixology and they can keep it. But I have been reading a indie comic from his last name, James Tynion the Fourth, and that is The Department of Truth. I talked about this a bit when it first came out, but put out their Image, and it's James Tynion and Martin Simmons working together on this, and it starts off with the JFK assassination and the organization kind of designing the story that goes along with that, and to following a character by the name of Cole Turner, who is a digital intelligence instructor for the FBI at Quantico. So one of the guys that breeds online culture and follows kind of the conspiracy theory groups, as well as, how can you predict criminal behavior from online behavior. And he gets picked up by this department and is subsequently told that every conspiracy theory that he has followed, heard rumors of, is true, and the government has created all these different ways to make things, but not in the way you think they are. The government has created these conspiracy theories to hide the even deeper truth. And he gets drafted into this organization, and that's been a lot of fun. The art style is super trippy. I mentioned on our previous show, I'm a big fan of Rocky Kim's art for X-Force, and kind of how, like, abstract and harsh a lot of it was. And this is that same sort of style, where it's a lot of kind of the line work itself is pretty soft, but the way it presents itself is very impactful and very kind of harsh looking, and sometimes unpleasant to look at. And I've actually been really appreciating the liberty that Martin Simmons has gotten to experiment with that. It doesn't look like anything you would see in your classical super. It's been a lot of fun. That is my pick for my personal best comic of 2020, because it's just been.
Who publishes that?
Image.
Okay.
And it's just been super trippy, and the story is great, the art is great. Good things about and Roland Mann. I've read good things about Tynion's writing, but haven't read any of his stuff yet. I would recommend Department of Truth. I have yet to read his Batman stuff. I believe he did a Batman run. He did. And he also wrote Something Is Killing the Children, which I hear really good things about that as well, but I've not yet read.
My list, man.
Yeah. In terms of, I also go into print book. My personal best of was actually a 2019 book, which I actually got through reading and finished in 2020, which was A Little Hatred by Joe Abercrombie. which is the first of his new trilogy set in the First Law universe. And I just picked up his entry into that from this year, and I'm looking forward to reading that. But it is a fantasy world where the industrialization is starting to kill off magic, and while all this is going on, you also have to deal with the political machinations of all these different fantasy factions and wizards and necromancers still trying to vie for dominance, while private investors and moguls are becoming the real powerhouse. So that's been a lot of fun. Anyone have any other additions?
I am thinking of nothing.
All right.
I have not read anything that I can throw in there.
Interesting.
I recently I asked for Christmas because I couldn't believe I didn't have it. The run Joss Whedon did on Astonishing X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Holy cow, is it good?
Yeah.
It was just like superhero comics. Can they be any better than this? That kind of thing.
Right.
So that's been a very nice revisiting. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Whedon in general, but his Firefly, who can't?
Yeah.
But his work in comics has always had a special place in my heart.
Yeah, he did a great run on Runaways too.
Mm-hmm.
But he just had such a great way of kind of honoring what's gone on before, but contemporizing it in a way that that you feel like you're not trying to enjoy something for nostalgia's sake,
Right.
more like that you are actually reading something that feels very fresh.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty amazing. So that man is too talented. All these talented people. Why can't I be talented? That's
Right.
what I think every time I read his stuff. So
Quentin here on YouTube. Sorry I'm not able to stick around, but for the entertainment while it's recording, well, thank you for watching our VODs. But he'd like to say great art. So Haley, you have some compliments on the art. Yeah.
Cool.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
What page are you working on?
It's been fun
Haley?
watch work on that.
Yeah, I've kind of been jumping around, and honestly, like, I didn't work on it at all, like, over Christmas break, basically, like, since our last live stream. So I'm kind of like figuring out, okay, where was I? And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I was sketching one page, and then I was kind of like, I think I've done all I can do on that right now, and I'll jump to another page in ink because it's harder for me to sketch, like, because that's where I have to do the most thinking about, like, as long as I'm inking, it's like, okay, it's basically all there in the sketch, but in the sketch, I'm like, okay, people are watching. I can't think as much about it right now. It's hard.
I was watching you digitally enhance like the snout and resize. I saw when you had selected and got it to the proportions where you wanted. Stuff that never could have been done so easily with pencil and paper.
Yeah.
And again, I'm the writer, not an artist. So just to be able to see you do that, and to you, I'm sure that's super easy. I'm just sitting here going, wow, that's pretty awesome for you to have that level of control with those tools. That's so cool.
Yeah, I know. When I ever sketch on paper now, I'm like, oh, I feel so handicapped. Like, I can't resize stuff. I can't flip the canvas. I will find myself like, because I have a touchscreen, and I'll like, you do like a 2-finger like rotate and zoom, and I'll try to do that on the paper. I'm like, wait,
hold on.
Well, you can rotate the paper. You can spin it around.
Yeah,
that's true.
The manual
look at
zoom.
it in a mirror.
Yeah. Well, you write and draw Bear together, right?
Roland has written all of Bear.
Okay. Oh, I don't know how detailed his scripts are, but I feel like I don't put any detail into mine, but then AJ
Mhm.
will send me these panels, and I will bug out because I'll wonder how he's in my mind, like how he's gonna. It's like, there's no way he should have gotten all of this from my one sentence description. But he is a consummate
cool.
professional, and it is nutty watching him work like that.
You have any new art from your project?
I don't know if there has been anything for, because we showed the alternate cover, the reward cover. So I don't know if there's been anything new since then, but I will. I think there has been, but I haven't saved it, so maybe next show I'll be able to share some of it. Yeah, but
That's something we should do more of. That just occurred to me. I get new art from my guys all the time, but I never think to actually share it on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Just send it to me, and I will throw it up in the stream.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Huh. All right.
Yeah, I've been thoroughly enjoying seeing the updates that he's been sending me, and the mind blowing experience of actually watching someone make my words not just words. Yeah. I will say a Silverline pick for 2020 for me. We're going to go with one Kalis. I love anything spy stuff and spy and science fiction stuff together. It hits several spots.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully, I can be a 2021 pick for you. So, additional content for 2020. Has anyone been playing anything? I know Tommy said he's been playing Doom.
A little bit.
I actually played Far Cry 5 this year.
Okay.
I'm very not on the contemporary edge and stuff, but that was a great game.
Yeah.
And it had a heck of a story that ended in a way that will probably stick in my mind as one of the more definitive endings of any game I've ever played.
Yeah.
And how can I say this without being spoiler heavy? I was able to continue playing after I saw the end, and I was almost heartbroken because I knew that it was not real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, the birds are singing again. No, they're not.
Yep.
Yeah. And just the music and the characters. Yeah, great game. And just long enough that I just started to get tired of playing right as the game ended. So
you just hit the peak of fun, and then it was over. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's ideal.
That's my gaming pick for 2020. Although I think it's like 2 years old or 3 years old at least. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, exactly. It's our picks. It's what we had the best experience with last year. Because it also subconsciously informs what we do when we work.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could follow Tommy and Brent's thoughts as Tommy is Doom, so you're talking good old 90s originally there, and then Brent, you said a couple years ago. The reason, Haley, that I bought my Animal Crossing Switch was because they didn't have any standard Switches in. They only had the Animal Crossing, and I looked at it, I'm like, that's adorable. I'll buy that. That's cool. So I could have all of my Street Fighters wherever I go. So I've got the 30th anniversary edition, which had kind of the rebooted sprite from Street Fighter 2's, and wait, no, that's the Ultra edition. Sorry. And the 30th anniversary has everything from Street 2, World Warriors, Turbos, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2, 3. Wherever I go, I could have Ken and Ryu and Cammy and Chun-Li in my pocket, and I could play whenever I want.
There you go. The perfect combination of John's internet being a little slow and John getting so excited is that he'll talk too fast for his internet, for his speed to process it, so it just kind of turns to dubstep at a point. which we do appreciate.
I got the gist there.
And there it goes again.
Yep. We'll have to figure that out. The extended goal for all of our Kickstarters will be to get John a faster connection. I have been playing a lot of everything. But I think my pick is gonna have to be, even though it was broken for the majority of people who played it, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, how is that?
I mean, I got it on PC, and I run a fairly high-end PC. So it has been functioning for me. I have not experienced any of the bugs that have risen to acclaim since its release. But I've been thoroughly enjoying every second of it. I haven't had any game ending bugs, and also I haven't had any moments where sometimes you'll get with a game, especially an open world game, where I get a moment of pure frustration where you have to set it down for a little bit. Where either you walk into a room that's too high level, or you realize you buggered up something 30 missions ago. But I have not had that issue. I have been, or maybe it's just the my time streaming has turned me into elite gamer, and I now know how to map my playthrough. But I've been able to go through on a challenging difficulty, and still have a fully uninterrupted, annoying experience with it. And the aesthetic is my favorite thing to come out of a visual media for a while. Just the use of a darker palette as well as neons has been really hitting all of my aesthetic vibes. The use of real life bands and musicians to make fake cyberpunk bands is great. That Run the Jewels has a track in there that every time that comes on, I do the thing in Cyberpunk where, if your song comes on shuffle and you're in the car, but you get to where you're going, you might stay in the car for another minute or two. If I'm playing Cyberpunk and the Run the Jewels track comes on, I will stay in my car and not go out to rampage the downtown apartment. But it's been just so much fun, and the story is. I get where there's some complaints that some moments may feel like an illusion of choice, where you understand that not all of your choices may have as much impact as you'd like them to. But I get that, and also that almost fits into the cyberpunk themes and motifs anyway. But I've been loving it. If once it gets fixed on console, if you're a console player, I'd recommend it. Or if you have a PC, I'd absolutely recommend it. It's been a ton of fun.
Okay. What kind of game is it? I don't even know.
So it's an open world role-playing game with shooter elements in it. So it's like a lot of it is like The Witcher because it's from CD Projekt Red. Only instead of the horse, you have a collection of cars you can purchase from your mini black market fixers and dealers. Of course, I drive their version of a 77 Mustang that they've converted into a 2077 Mustang. Being a Mustang owner myself, I felt like I needed to. It was on brand. But the skill trees are all well varied. And so I'm playing more of a... I'm playing like the Terminator. My build is such that I'm rewarded for running into a fight face first, getting shot, and just mowing people down with a heavy shotgun. But you can play with swords and stealthy, you can be more of a hacker, you can be a sniper, and there's all different ways to make those builds just as rewarding for you and give you just as much effect doing any of those things. It doesn't, like, if anyone's played the Cyberpunk Human Revolution, that had an issue where the boss fights required you to be a much more tanky shooty type person, but I had played very sneaky and hackery, and it did not work out well until I fixed my build. But it's a very well-rounded role-playing game. The shooter elements are all solid. I never feel like I am arbitrarily missing any shots because of a dice roll under the table.
Mm.
Yeah. Roland's asking if any one of us has played any Steam games. Steam being the service on PC and computer that moves things. I think I might be the main PC user here. So I played Cyberpunk on Steam and Destiny as well. Most of last year.
I was playing a game on Steam before I got my Switch, is Stardew Valley, which
Oh,
actually
yeah,
is on
yeah.
the Switch. I'm like, oh, I should have gotten that because I was like, I think I had bought it a while ago and it was on sale and then never played it. And then I was like,
Right.
oh, everybody's all excited about Animal Crossing. I'll just play this to like make myself feel like
Fill
it.
the void.
And yeah, that's a good game. And it has a really cute like pixel aesthetic where it's
Mhm.
like it looks like an older game on purpose. kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is fun.
Yeah, Planet Coaster and the Doom external, not external, internal.
Eternal?
No, Eternal. Yeah, I played the stupid game and I don't
Doom
even know what the
Eternal.
hell it is. Yeah, they're both. They they ran through the Steam, but
Well, guys, the time has come for me to sign off and go to bed.
Do you have any?
have you been working on any good things to tell us? You got to give us something to go by.
Any parting
We do
words of
every
wisdom?
week.
Oh, shoot, man.
You got to write this down. You got a whole week to come up with these, and you hadn't come up with one.
You for my parting shot, you mean? Yeah, I've got one. This is easy. This is my pick for 2020 that's non-media related. Taco Bell's Diablo sauce. It needs to be experienced and savored and remembered for the future. I'm Brett Larson.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
I'll catch you next week.
Be good, man.
Be good. All right. And Brent will be at the Land Comic Con this Sunday, so if you want more of
That's right.
Mr. Larson in your life, please come to the Land Comic Con. And we have another farewell from the team. John cannot get his PC reconnected. He says it is glitchier than Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph, so he wishes everyone a good night, and he'll see you all next week. All right, so anyone... you want to go down that train? Anyone have any food options from 2020? Anyone experience anything? Any new order-ins during the quarantines?
Dude, I've just been doing Chinese and pizza, and I haven't eaten at a restaurant at all. I don't know about you guys, but we've been doing a lot of takeout. Nothing crazy. Got a bunch of good barbecue places in the area, but nothing nutty. Just kind of, I'm getting bored. Actually, is what the truth is about all of this. I am ready to go to a Mexican place and get some sizzling fajitas or something, chicken, something. But then everybody's like, "We just go get it and bring it home." No, I want to eat it in the restaurant. I want to go to the restaurant. I know that our, here in Florida, the restaurants are open for the most part, but we're not doing that yet.
Yeah.
But I'm ready. Give me something different to eat.
Yeah, I've been doing the classic Night Rider where I just eat in my car, or I'll pick something up and pull over in my car.
We have been even that we still if we go to wherever fast food or whatever and stuff, we're still not I'm still kind of just we bring the stuff home, we take the food. I know this is silly as could be, but we still take the food out of the wrappers that it came in, put it over on another plate, then throw those wrappers away, and then wash our hands up. If we get like sodas and stuff, we're still pouring them over into another glass, even though I know the straw is, you're drinking it out of a cup that somebody else put it into. So I know it's stupid, but we're still doing it.
Yeah. Are you sure you aren't my grandparents?
Oh.
They were doing that well before this.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That is so funny. But yeah, so like if I'm at work and I need to go get something, if I have any of the condiments or whatever, I'll take all the packets into the bathroom and wash them real quick, so that way I can. I don't know why, I'm just doing it like a crazy person. I think this is making us all go a little crazy.
Yeah, no, I've just been very very up to date on my mouthwash routine and my after meal brushing.
Mm.
Yeah.
What about you, Haley? What have you been eating? What have you been doing?
What have I been eating? Well, there's this Italian restaurant like in my neighborhood, and they have really good pizza, so
Italian.
we've like gotten that delivered a lot, and they have like the best margarita pizza that I've ever had.
Ooh.
And a good like artichoke, feta, cheese, chicken pizza, whatever that's called. That's good.
All right, Roland. I'm gonna cut you off. Roland says BJ and him have been going out again for a couple months. It's nice. Restaurants are only about half full, and yeah, if I mean, I don't go out too often, but if I know place has been everything closed back down again recently because their numbers went up. But when we were back in phase, can you remember if it ticks down or up? When we were in the green zone, and I knew a restaurant was taking its precautions seriously, and it was spaced. I might attend. We went to our local barcade, and they were very serious about taking everything, safely because they want to stay open. And
Yep.
Yeah, and so it felt like we're almost more 12 feet apart from everyone involved, but it was still a great time. But now everything's locked back down because the numbers went back up, and so we've been ordering in. I don't know if I've had anything too memorable.
Nothing's memorable.
Yeah.
You're just eating because you need to put something in your belly, get into my belly, just to eat something, and then you're like, okay, all
right.
Next.
Amy Stephanie on the Facebook says games. Their daughter and I played several of the Hunt a Killer murder mysteries. Food, she baked a ton. I know some people have taken up the sourdough. I started brewing kombucha for a while in quarantine. So my my pick of 2020 for at-home crafts is kombucha. I don't know if anyone's looked at anything like that or started remodeling something.
I did gain a bunch of weight there at the very beginning, because we were just eating junk, weren't doing any of my exercise stuff, leaving the bike in the garage and just eating junk all the time, especially when everything was shut down those first couple of months where nothing was open, not even supposed to go to work, but those air fryers are the best and the worst possible. Because you just throw anything in there and it's great. You just keep eating.
Yeah. Speaking of gaining weight, you did just spark this memory for me. There was something that actually I truly dug. There's a kind of like out the westernmost side of town, like when you're going like all the way out Salem through Dallas. There is also like drive-through literal burger shack. So it's only 2 drive-throughs. There is absolutely no seating space. So this has been fine for them. They've been doing absolutely great. Yeah.
They haven't changed anything. This is their normal
so
operation.
They actually just reopened this year and went through there, got my healthy dose of cholesterol. Yeah, man, that is a burger to kill for though. We were trying to hit up Killer Burger the last time we went up to the mountain, but they moved their. They normally have a little trailer set up by Mount Hood, but they pulled it back, so we would have to go away half an hour out of the way to go there. But they have the triple pie pass burger. If anyone's seen Man vs. Food, they've been featured on it a couple times. Yeah, that's the burger. Dandy Burger was fantastic. Is anyone else? Have there been any movies that have come out? Has anyone watched any movies just in their Netflix queue that they haven't gotten around to that have stuck out to them?
I can't think. The last movie I can think of I saw was the last movie in theaters, like a couple days before everything shut down. I went to so my birthday's in March, so I went on my birthday with a couple friends to go see Onward, the Pixar movie.
Yeah.
And then like a couple days later, it was like,
oh,
there it was. Yeah.
Oh, but I enjoyed that movie.
Nice.
The Soul was pretty good on Disney.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet.
That's good. It's really good. It's beautiful. It's I could say it's illustrated, but it's animated. Really, it's in the story is I think is pretty different than what you might think it would be. So check it out. It's nice.
Roland said he saw Tenet, was disappointed. That is understandable. I heard that was the major criticism for it. Was I haven't seen it either. Was the fact that the entire movie is explaining the movie, but it does it poorly. I did see actually because Bill and Ted came directly to video on demand, so we watched Bill and Ted 3, and
I paid for it. It's still sitting in the queue. Just had I did one of the. I went ahead and got all 3.
Yeah.
I think they had like a special for like $30 or whatever. You can get all 3. So we immediately watched the first one and loved it. Of course, started watching the second one, and then we just didn't get around to watching the third one yet. But it's going to. It's paid for. You just gotta go watch it.
Yeah, I got it on the Google's movie service when it came out, and I watched that fairly immediately. And it's a Bill and Ted movie. You know what you get going into it, but it's exactly what I feel like everyone needed in 2020. It's just Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter being stupid and having a good time,
being fun.
Yeah. It was real fun. I enjoyed it. The humor is if you're in your late 20s to mid 30s, it's designed.
Which I am.
Yes. This is designed for you. I loved it. It was great.
We mostly just watch. We still watch. Of course, a lot of the production of stuff is barely started on some stuff. Some of the NCIS shows have started up. I guess they've had to close all that stuff down again. But we watched a lot of just. For whatever reason, we watch a lot of YouTube stuff. My wife watches a lot of cooking stuff and makeup stuff and this, that, and the other. And I watch a lot of biking things, and I'm into magic, so I watch a lot of magic stuff on there. And there's a bunch of neat channels. I mean, you could just spend the whole afternoon watching. I mean, there's just so much stuff on YouTube to watch. It is a programming channel.
Yeah. I mean, it's also interesting to see how many YouTube and Twitch channels have blown up during this, because either when else happen, you have nothing to do, so you decide to start creating content, or you decide to start watching content. And
we watch a lot of our folks that we know a little bit that are going out to the parks and the Disney and Universal and all that kind of stuff. So we still haven't gone into the parks at all. We've been to the Disney Springs a couple of times to shop and whatnot or whatever, but we've not been into the parks, even though they're open. And you watch the videos, they seem like they're doing an excellent job at keeping things clean and keeping everybody, throwing people out that aren't cooperating and all that kind of stuff. But so you kind of living through other people doing stuff, which is kind of odd. Yeah.
I mean, I saw that some of the parks are going to start being administration sites for the vaccine.
Yes, I just heard about that. Yesterday and today, both here in Orlando, and I think they were going to start working on something in California too. But that's going to be huge.
So does that mean that if any of the cast members are also CNAs, you can get your shot from Mickey or Minnie?
That would be fun.
That'd be cool.
That might actually be great for kids. I don't know.
Well, so Florida's now 65 and up. Besides frontline folks and essential workers, so they're everybody's just having a hard time, going as fast as what we were
Right.
hoping. But,
Yeah.
but there's lots of people just aren't not wanting to get the shot also. So.
Yeah. Okay, and Brett has been to the park several times since we opened. They've enjoyed it since the lines move a lot faster, and I guess that is the upside is
Oh
less
my
people.
gosh, yeah. I've been once. I went in like August to the Animal Kingdom. And so I don't know, they're probably more crowded now, but it was like spooky how empty it was. And the Avatar ride there that normally has really long lines, like
Wait,
we got to ride
2,
it
3, 4
twice.
hours.
Like
Yeah,
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lines look, they look really long, but
But
we
it's just
realize that
people
they're
spread out,
all
yeah.
stretched out,
Yeah, because they've got the markers.
You know, but
Yeah,
you go to
it's
the
just-
back end and, you know, the line may be stretched out all the way on. People are watching this going, I don't know what you're talking about, but, you know, stretched out through the Avatar land all the way down towards Africa. And there'll be a guy standing back there saying that that's a, you know, 30-minute wait. And I've had to wait in that line where it was 6 hours all the way back towards the Africa area when it first opened. So, you know, when I see those long lines, I go, those lines are going so fast that you're almost just steadily running to get to the through the queue.
Yeah, and there was one more moment towards the end of the day, like the park was getting ready to close, and I just looked around and like there was nobody else.
Yeah,
it's just so weird to be in a Disney park and to be able to look around and like there's no people, there's no crowds. It was like kind of eerie.
Yeah, I think it's just still 35% is
Yeah.
the max capacity is what they're doing there in at Universal, I believe. Sometimes it looks like it's busier, but then, you know, you can see the people that are filming the stuff, they'll move the camera around, you know, it'll be a boatload of people over here, and then all of a sudden the camera will go over here and you'll see nobody. And it's like, you know, people move in herds. You've seen that at the park. Everybody tends to keep, you know, whenever you see a big group of people going this way, you go that way because, you know, the whole group just playing follow the leader. So, you know, it's they seem to be doing pretty good. They're trying to keep it going. So
we got a message somewhere. Javon. Okay. And we will be having some guests join us shortly. It looks like we got another 50 minutes for the expected arrival times of the boss man himself, Roland Mann, and John Crowther.
Oh, what are they going to be talking about?
Oh, maybe our Kickstarter featuring Teen Beetle.
Oh.
Yeah, snap. We have more messages coming in. Yes, okay.
Oh, I see Roland said he's about to jump on. Well, come on in, Roland. The water is warm.
Yes.
Because somebody peed in it, I think.
And we
It was Haley.
We just had our weather system called the Pineapple Express, which is our first like blast of warm wind in the year. And we call it such because it looks like the mountain is smoking a ton of reefer. Because it just melts everything off the top. But before
weather here is just going up and down, up and down. Cold and then warm, cold and then warm.
Oh.
Yeah, but the I guess our equivalent of the parks here is Mount Hood or Sisters or Santiam, but we've been up to Mount Hood since the lockdown, and Oregon is perhaps most, except for recreational use of substance. I feel like hiking and health culture is what we perhaps export the most. So everyone's been very health conscious about this whole thing, and so it's been very interesting going up there, and just the your board tech is also giving you advice on prevention and maintaining control of the spread. But it's been a good time. Especially since snowboarding is already such a distant sport, so it's been pretty.
That's what you were doing last week.
Yeah.
Are you doing it now? Yeah.
No, I'm going to be doing it the last.
Oh, I see you found your glasses. Did you go back out of the woods and find them?
I got some new glasses. So I think I have I threw out the old ones. So the old ones had got cleaved straight through the middle, and it was so awkward. I couldn't even get tried using plastic glue, which is supposed to have open working time of 15 minutes, set in 2 hours, and after an hour of being clamped, it would not seal. So
you got to wrap it with the tape like us nerd guys do. You
well, I tried to, but like the angle, like there wasn't enough working room. So instead I just it's time for my annual checkup anyway. So I just gotta.
Well, why didn't you wrap it this way, back and
right,
forth?
just
like
back and
this?
forth.
Yeah,
Go
this
full
way. And
Kenchi
then
for
poke
Mortal
little
Kombat.
holes in it.
Yeah, no, I just got time with my eye doctor and got some new glasses. So I've been getting adjusted to these, but that was fun. My best way to end 2020, breaking her glasses on a sheet of ice.
Luckily, I hadn't had any wrecks out
And there is
mountain biking or
yeah. Roland joined us now. Amy Stephanie says Nicolas Cage hosting a new series on Netflix. The History of Swear Words was good. I'm actually interested in watching that too. Has anyone seen Queen's Gambit? That's the other Netflix thing which I've been interested in checking out.
I've seen it.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. We enjoyed it quite a bit. It's slow initially.
Sure.
But if you can get past that initial slowness, yeah, it's really good.
Okay. Because I knew it had the I feel bad because I forgot her name, but she was in New Mutants.
New Mutants, yeah.
R.I.P. But I liked her in general, and I also am a habitual chess player, so I've been interested in that.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Amy Stephanie says Death of 2020, Imposters, and Bridgerton. Amy also says yes, she thought Queen's Gambit was amazing. All right.
I know a lot of people that have really gotten into it.
Yeah.
Tell John to turn his phone sideways. I don't know why I said tell you to tell him, but turn your phone sideways, John.
Huh? Oh, is it sideways? Okay.
See, there you go. There's it.
There you go.
Hey. Yeah, you guys look there too. Who's the bear?
Alrighty. And ladies and gentlemen, we have joining us now Roland Mann, writer of Switchblade, as well as the Silver and Silverline. Do with that as you will. And and John Crowther, writer of Teen Beetle.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So we are
So what John's not saying is that I've asked him to join us regularly, and he is going to do so after he finishes up a prior. I'm not going to talk about it, John, because I don't know if it's something you're talking about. But he has a prior commitment on our stream nights that will be wrapping up. I think you said in a couple of months.
Yeah, in a couple of months. Actually,
what is it with Johns that sound like robots?
Both Johns.
Do I sound like a robot?
Yeah.
Probably because I've been chatting on Zoom now for we're going on about 3 hours now. But I'm working on it. It's my first full-length book. It's a biography for professional wrestling's The Bushwhackers. So every Wednesday night, I do a Zoom conference with Luke, who's down in Clearwater, and Butch, who still lives in Wellington, New Zealand.
That's cool.
So that's what I was doing right before I clicked in.
Yeah, it's very cool.
How are they doing?
They're doing great. I mean, I'll tell you, every conversation with them, it's both entertaining and exhausting.
I bet.
If you watched wrestling, the energy you used to see from those guys on TV, they still bring that same energy, and it's constant jokes and sarcasm and ripping on me and ripping on each other. It's an experience.
Makes you feel right at home, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I actually love it. I mean, and it's pretty fun to fit right in there with them and pick and jab at them too. So.
So
Tim, you should ask John some of the questions since we're here a little bit earlier.
Tonight we've been talking about our favorite picks of 2020. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that came out that year, but just something we enjoyed thoroughly through our quarantine. So I did actually have something specific for you, John, knowing your personal history and a shared connection we have. Do you have a wrestling match from any of the stables or networks of 2020?
Oh, okay. You're gonna when I say this, but I'm an old school wrestling fan. I didn't. God, I want to think if I even tuned into the WWE this year. Once
I tried a couple of times.
Yeah, once we had the lockdown and they went to that new format where you've got everybody like watching wrestling from computer screens spread throughout the stadium. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Man, don't you feel bad for the guys out there trying to, get all hyped up, and they're
Right.
like, oh, yelling at the audience, and then the camera accidentally pans over
Yeah,
to
and
nobody
on
there.
Kind of a on a more personal basis on that. One of my good friends is Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
Hip Hop, and he's with AEW. He's been there a couple of years now. He's not only is he wrestling, which is pretty cool because both of his sons have been called up, and they've now started a trio called the Gun Club.
Yes.
So he's getting a little in the ring a little bit more, but he's also a trainer and a director for them. So I've tried to watch those guys when they get in there, even for AEW, and it's like 3 or 4 wrestlers at ringside cheering on 3 or 4 wrestlers coming down.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's gotta be bad.
It's been
gotta be
interesting.
hard.
I've not been able to watch any WWE for a while. I think the last we went back and watched the 2003 WrestleMania, which we forgot featured live music from Limp Bizkit. Back during Undertaker's American Badass period. But AEW has been kind of taking over for us. Yeah. So
Well, I'll tell you, before the pandemic hit, I was actually, because I grew up on territorial wrestling. I was a big fan. I'm a Florida guy. I grew up here in Florida. My family's actually been in Central Florida since we can trace ourselves back to the 1700s, actually. Not that wrestling went back that far, but I grew up in the 70s watching championship wrestling from Florida. So, I was a big fan of Dusty Rhodes and Bugsy McGraw and Blackjack Mulligan and all those guys. And I was just kind of getting burnt out on a lot of the WWE stuff. I mean, there's so many. How many high spots can you put in a match?
Right.
How many times you're going to hit a guy with your finisher and he bounce up like nothing happened? I mean, it just kind of lost a lot of its appeal to me over the years. But when the NWA was running those shows, NWA Power on the internet, I was actually kind of getting into that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it reminded me, not exactly, but it reminded me a lot of those old, Gordon Soley championship wrestling from Florida days when they were done in the studios. And honestly, I hope that makes a comeback. I mean, I honestly think if some of the bigger companies such as WWE and AEW would try to go back maybe to that format, during maybe on weekends, maybe have like a studio show or something like that. I really think it could help their ratings.
Yeah. I've been watching a bit.
Tim.
Yes.
Did you ever go see a WWE show while you were here?
Yes.
While you were at Full Sail, did you?
Yeah, I was actually I think I was at the show where Sami Zayn left to go to main roster.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me, but
okay. So for those of you who don't know, I attended Full Sail where Roland is a teacher, and WWE has their developmental do all of their dark shows as well as their pre-records there.
Yeah.
And Sami Zayn for a while was a huge babyface, and then eventually he got moved up to the main roster. He was actually to bring it back to last week, he was a wrestler whose entire motif was built around ska punk.
Oh no!
So he came out with the cabbie hat, the track jacket. He had the track pants with the sketch pattern, and he would skank on his way into stage.
That's funny.
Yeah. But he was a huge babyface. He was immensely popular just because of how well he was able to sell himself, and so I was there at the show where he got moved up to main roster.
That's funny. Well, a lot of people who don't, who may be younger. People who didn't know the beginning of John Cena. I mean, he started off as a rapper character.
Yes. And then, was it the Machine? I've heard his name. There's one guy who we still share memes about, but he was on WCW? But it was right around the time Mortal Kombat 2 came out, and his character's brand was definitely not Sub-Zero.
Oh, you're talking about Glacier.
Glacier, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ray's actually Ray is actually a really close friend of mine.
Yeah,
we've done a few shows together, and he's got a plug for Ray. He's got a movie similar to the Untouchables that he's put together. That's going to be coming out this year. He did some filming over in Sanford, invited me out to the set, had DDPs in it, Haku, Larry Zabisco, Ernest Miller. Yeah, he's got a whole lineup, really cool guys. It's going to be a great show.
Right, that looks awesome. But yeah, they're telling people about either how wrestlers got started before they found their kayfabe, or even just some of the things that happened in the '90s. Like, was that allowed?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
That
so,
Attitude Era, they actually, I mean, they walked a real thin line.
yeah,
They sure did.
so like Triple H's actual wife, that all happened out of a storyline where he car bombed her dad, drugged and kidnapped her.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Like,
I kind of like you. Well, I like you too.
yeah.
You think some of that
That
stuff was
stuff's all
extreme?
real, of course.
Honestly, you think some of that stuff
Oh, it's
was
real.
extreme?
It's
You
real,
should
Roland,
read.
come on.
Yeah, it's still real to me, damn it. No, if you read, when this book comes out that I'm writing for the Bushwhackers, I mean, for people who didn't, who only knew them during like the 80s and the early 90s. Before they were the Bushwhackers, they were the sheep herders, and they really were hardcore before. And those guys,
It's a stretch. It's a stretch.
I mean, with you have to be hardcore with a name like that. You have to sell it in some way.
There was look at it. Their bloody matches that they had. I mean, and some of the stuff they did in the territories, it was insane.
Well, that's kind of what I've been interested in seeing. AEW is a little more razor friendly, which I mean, feel about that how you will, but it's interesting seeing the Bullet Club essentially move over there. Which, if you want to watch the New Japan Pro Wrestling, the amount of I'm pretty sure you need to sign like a will before you sign with New Japan. But Kenny Omega has been one of my favorite wrestlers for a while, so to see him in the States, and AEW also has a dark show which they put out for free on YouTube, which is great. But having consistent Kenny Omega has now been a good time.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been also a favorite wrestling gimmick of the year for me though has got to be the continuation of Chris Jericho as the leader of the Inner Circle in AEW and the Bubbly.
Oh, the Bubbly. The Bubbly. I was still watching it when the Bubbly came out.
Yeah.
He's I'll tell you, that guy's a character. I mean, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
WCW, WWF, or WWE, and AEW, and he just keeps bringing it. He's probably reinvented himself more than anybody else in wrestling right now.
I remember when I first got introduced to him was after the Lion Tamer period, was when he joined WWF as his version of the early 2000s computer hacker, because those were very
the Y2J, yeah.
Y2J, yeah. And the sunglasses, the leather, it was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
All right, but for those of you who are very lost on what we're talking about, we'll move to something a little more relatable, maybe.
Haley, do you watch wrestling?
Yeah, we just turned this into a wrestling broadcast.
Yeah, exactly. But John, do you have any comic picks or anything you've read in last year that really stuck out to you?
Honestly, I haven't done a lot of comic reading either. I've been reading a lot of regular books.
Real books?
Real books.
With covers and everything?
No pictures. I mean, I've read a lot of. I've downed a lot of wrestling biographies. I've read Stone Cold's. I've read Terry Funk's. I've read Jesus. Who am I reading right now? About ready to start. I'd have to. God, I wasn't prepared for a quiz. I've got so much stuff I've been reading. What am I reading now? I just finished Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Nice.
Which is an excellent book. God, I mean, everything's been good. I mean, that's all I've been doing basically is reading. I'm not a television watcher, so don't hit me with a "what's my favorite TV show" question.
Sure.
That was the next part.
Yeah,
that was Tommy's question.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, I'm going to sound kind of boring.
What about The Mandalorian?
No, I've never seen it.
What?
Never seen it. No, my whole life. Here's my life. I'm going to put my life in a nutshell. My life is I get up. I'm an attorney when I'm not writing comics. So I get up. I go to my law practice at like 8 in the morning. I'm there till 5. I write comics or I work on the Bushwhacker book. And then my wife and I watch The Masked Singer, and then we go to bed.
What? The what? What do you watch?
The Masked Singer. You've never seen that?
The meth singer.
No, not that one. Even though it does seem like it sometimes. It's called the Masked Singer. I think it's a show that started in Korea.
Never even heard of it.
You need to watch it.
It's fun. It's a fun show. We watch it.
I'm also not a big TV guy, so I have no idea what you're talking about. We have Netflix, and we'll see Netflix shows, but
I don't even have Netflix anymore. I got rid of Netflix. I've got Hulu and I think Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we watch 2 shows. Our 2 shows are right now. It's The Bachelor and The Masked Singer. My favorite show is The Masked Singer. I hope that works.
Very good. Speaking of Lester, I don't know why I brought this up. I had like a weird train there. John said something about Hulu, which reminded me that all 29 seasons of Bleach are on Hulu, which I've been watching now. Which reminds me of the fact that manga are now calculated in graphic novel sales. So here's a fun fact about 2020, since we need fun facts about that year. Go for it. Did you know that in 2020, graphic novels targeted towards adults had a 30% sales jump year over year?
I saw that. I think I saw John Jackson Miller post that the other day.
Yeah, it's
that's because we're all staying home.
We're all staying home and buying stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you follow, independent comics and crowdfunding at all, it's been a really, 2020 was a really good year for crowdfunders.
Yeah.
We were almost oversaturated with them.
Right.
There were so many, but there were a lot. You don't think you could? No, you can't see it. I got a whole stack of them back there that I've just and I've got a stack of them back here that I've yet to read from Kickstarters. So
I can say myself since 2020 started. I kicked off the year with a story for heavy metal, and then from there it was just I think it almost seemed like every month or just about every month I had a Kickstarter come out or I was a part of one, whether it was an anthology or whether it was one of the wrestling books. I put books out for the Killer Bees, for Gangrel. We put out the Wrestling Encyclopedia, and all those just did fantastic. I was part of that. You guys know Austin Janowski. Austin did a zombie anthology we were a part of that did really well. I was part of that Cthulhu Invades Oz thing that Travis Gibb put out. So it's just been seemed like almost when I wasn't working on this Bushwhacker book, it was like almost every other month I had a Kickstarter coming out. But it was good. People were active. It was good to see a lot of guys getting work out and a lot of people interested in reading. Anything to get yourself distracted from the coronaviruses and elections, I think was good.
Right.
Now, John, did you meet everybody during the Comic Conway? Do you know everybody here?
I don't. All I see is a bear right now.
Oh.
Oh,
so I don't even know.
You don't
even see. I see it like somebody drawing. I see like Yogi the Bear coming on my screen.
Yogi the Bear. So you don't see anybody else on the stream then, huh?
I'll be honest. I see like if I put it real close to my face.
Yeah, you can see.
There's Tommy, and I saw Roland there for a second. There we go. Yeah. But my eyesight is like. I had it tested one time. I want to say about 3 months ago, and without my glasses, it's I think like 2,500.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad. If I take my glasses off, I can't even read the chart at all. Not even the big E.
Wow, dude.
So when you put me on a talk where you're about the size of a dime.
I don't know who I thought. You go by the sound of the voice.
Yes.
Yeah, I know your voices. Yeah, but I'm looking at a bear, and then various voices are coming out of him.
Well, of course, you know me and Tommy.
Who is the bear?
That he is Bear.
Bear.
It means
Bear.
He is Bear, and that's a project that I am working on with Haley, who is the one who's doing the artwork as we watch. So,
nice.
John, you probably met Haley at DeLand 2 years ago. She sat right
Yeah.
straight across from me and you.
Is that Haley down there now? Who am I looking at now?
Yeah.
Not
Well,
Roland, it's a
One girl on
female.
here.
Well,
Yes.
Haley's the only female in the
That would
bunch
be me.
tonight. She sat
Okay,
right
well, hi,
behind.
Haley. Yeah,
She sat right.
I'm
she
sure
sat
I
right
did.
beside, Jamie Ingle.
Yes. Yeah, I was
Yes.
next.
Oh,
to her.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know Jamie. Yeah, Jamie's really nice. Last show I did in DeLand, I think. Well, I don't know if this was the last one. I brought Lanny Poffo, the Macho Man's brother.
Yes.
And Jamie was sitting across from us.
Yes. Same
And
show.
the show started, and about 5 minutes into the show, I think Lanny moved over to Jamie's table and started reciting poems and never left her side.
Yeah, Haley was at that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually
Roland.
the
That
show.
was probably where we first met because I know we've been at several more of the
Yes.
same ones, but
That was where we and I first met. We swapped books.
Now, Jamie, are you going to be in DeLand this weekend?
No, that's Haley.
Or Haley, I'm sorry. Haley, are you going to be in DeLand this week?
I'm not. I totally forgot that was coming up. I only went to it that one time. I mean, I should probably try it again. I didn't make very many sales at that one, but I don't know if that was just
a small
that
show.
year or if
Yeah,
it was like not.
It is a small show.
It's a small
Yeah.
show. It's my hometown. It's about, I want to say the show's about 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
probably
I
live.
mean, I'm in Volusia County too, so
You and Haley could probably throw rocks at each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you in?
Yeah.
Are you in Daytona, DeLand? Where are you at?
New Smyrna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where my mom grew up. Yeah.
Okay.
When I said our family can trace it way back, we were part of the Turnbull Bay Colony in New Smyrna.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is your Silverline History Night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. You never know where you're going to go when I get on here. I was a history major, and I like wrestling, and I don't watch TV.
Well, and of course, another Silverliner is up in your area is Jeff Whiting.
Yeah, that's right. Because
Jeff
was one of the first people in the industry I met at my first ever Daytona Beach Comic Con with Tom Raup.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've known, of course, Jeff for a long time. He worked, he was sneaker for me back at Malibu, back in the Malibu days. So.
Yep. And when I first met him, I think I bought a bunch of those old Malibu pages.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
He was selling them really cheap. I mean, I'm talking
I
about
know. Yeah.
$25 a page. I was like, dude,
I know.
After I bought a bunch of them, I told him he needed to raise the prices.
Did he?
After.
I think so, but I did it after I bought them.
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
just
that
like
was a steal.
just
You
like
really
an
should-"
attorney.
Yeah, I said, dude, that was a steal. You really need to raise your prices.
Alrighty. Well, it is about 7:40 West Coast time, Best Coast time, which means about 10:40 over there. I believe we had some other follow-up announcements to make. Roland, I don't know if you want to take over from here in regards to our Kickstarter featuring Switchblade and Teen Beetle.
So, can you can you pull the link up that I sent you? Oh, actually, wait a minute. Did I even send you a link to the Kickstarter?
He's like, nope.
I may not have. Let me get that to you.
Yeah, I remember when I was making the post for this Tuesday, I actually had to hunt it down in a different post.
Sorry. Let me give it to you now. John, what would you think about going live a little bit early? What if
What's
we just
that?
took what would you think if we just took it live tonight? Oh, I just gave you the wrong link, Tim. Sorry.
Oh, you talking about with the Kickstarter?
Yeah.
You can start it whenever you want it.
Well, we've been telling everybody it's gonna start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Man,
This is
computer.
This is the pre-sale. So for any of our watchers right now want to
Yes.
drop, the extra chowder to get the unique rewards, they can lock it in before anyone else.
Yeah, all right, there's the link, Tim. You'll probably only see a preview page right now until I take it live.
Right.
But yeah, John, I was thinking since you and I are on here, let's go ahead and take it live.
Okay.
And then you could spend a few minutes talking about Teen Beetle, and I'll talk about Switchblade for a minute or two.
Sure.
And we'll kind of take it out.
Sounds good.
All right. So I'm just going to go ahead. It's been sitting here approved. I wish I could show you this. it says, good news, your project has been approved. You have a green light to launch. So I'm going to wait till Tim gets it up there. We're going to look at the pre-launch.
We're looking at the pre-launch screen right now on the stream. You can see. Yes.
I still see Haley,
Roland?
so hang on.
I see Roland, and those are some pretty. Either you have like really like funky shades on, or there's a reflection off your screen.
Probably, yeah, reflection off my screen.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, when you turn it a certain way, you look like John Lennon.
Yep.
Okay, I see it now.
I got the.
Okay, how many people there? Is that 21?
21.
All right, so we're gonna get 21 people are gonna get a notification. It says prepare to launch. Ready? I have read the details. I already know all this, and let's launch.
Go.
So, all right, Tim, refresh.
All
right. So, John, tell me about Teen Beetle.
Yes. All right. Well, Teen Beetle is the newest part. For those of you who might not know who I am, I started off in comics with a series called Rochelle that debuted with AC Comics and then found its way over to Antarctic Press. And Teen Beetle is my first new kind of a branch off of that original Rochelle series. It's part of the same universe. And it involves a young boy by the name of Blake Northrup, who ties back into way back. The old original Blue Beetle had a formula called vitamin 2X. And what we've done in this is Blake is actually the grandson of the old Blue Beetle's original sidekick, who only made about 3 or 4 appearances, named Sparky. And what's happened is he has found this formula to vitamin 2X, and he and one of his buddies have figured out how to recreate the formula, and he's taken it and he's turned himself into Teen Beetle. So we're going to have the adventures of this young teenager who's kind of a wisecracker, sarcasm kind of guy who's going to start, fighting crime. Once he acquires this and actually brings himself about into the Teen Beetle, he kind of draws the attention of some of those old villains from back in the 20s and 30s and 40s who remembered that vitamin 2X formula, and they're trying to come back and get it. So he's going to be in a battle for his life, trying to hold on to that and keep it with the good guys. One of the neat things about it is Del Barris is actually the artist, and that was one of the exciting things about launching this. Was Del was actually one of the Blue Beetle artists, so I thought it was pretty cool to bring him on board for something that kind of flashed back a little bit to that old series.
When did he draw Blue Beetle? I don't remember that.
It was with, it would have been. In fact, I've got a couple of them.
Was that in the 80s?
Yeah, it would have been in the 80s.
I'm sure he's right here.
Yeah, it's a good guess, but he broke into the industry. For those of you who don't remember Del, he broke into the industry in the 70s, working on Savage Sword of Conan, and then he did a lot of work for Marvel UK. And then sometime in the 80s, he picked up on Blue Beetle. That's when I actually first saw his work, because I was a big Blue Beetle fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love Blue Beetle.
Yeah, and then I remembered Del as I got older and started writing my own stuff, and I hunted him down to do some of these series with me.
So, John, I know the answer to this question, but can you tell folks, because there may be some folks out there going, wait a minute, Blue Beetle, doesn't DC own Blue Beetle? So tell us, John, how can you use Blue Beetle?
No, well, I mean, DC has their own little Blue Beetle, but we're going way back. We're going back, God, and it's going to slip me now because this is way past my bedtime. But we're using the old original public domain Blue Beetle. Actually,
public domain. That's the key word right there, right, Tommy?
So we're not infringing on anybody, and
right.
We're a bigger, better version anyway. So.
Yeah. So now does Blake, does Teen Beetle, does he have the same powers as the original Blue Beetle?
No, he has the powers I give him, and you'll find out when you read all about it.
Answered like a writer.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
the story does what I say it does.
which really means to those people out there who are listening, really means John doesn't really know. he's got a couple of them figured out, but it's like I don't know what the rest of it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you read issue 1, because I know everyone is paying more attention to getting their rewards right now. But when you come back and you watch this video, when you read issue 1, you'll see that his best buddy, his name is actually Pure Genius, and he was a sidekick of Rochelle, and he's in here. And what he does, not only does blue or teen beetle have these, he's got super strength, he gets larger, he becomes like a grown man when he takes this formula, but he's also got this buddy who is a tinkerer, and he's able to build special uniforms and special outfits and add to what Teen Beetle's wearing to, super motorcycles and super jet fighters and things like that. So you'll see we can just about add anything we want to Teen Beetle's arsenal. Very cool.
And now, so I know the answer to this, but this is issue number 1. How many are there going to be?
More than one, more than two, and less than
silly.
Yeah, there's going to be more than 2 and less than 4.
So
I can't count that high. How many is that?
So it's a 3-issue run.
2 and a quarter books.
Exactly. Yes. So it's a 3-issue run, at least initially. Hopefully we'll come back and do another 3-issue run here and there. But that's what this first one's going to be.
And Teen Beetle is part of the Rochelle universe. Is this correct?
And hopefully part of the Silverline universe too.
That's right. We're going to be talking about that. So from our last website, from the last web posting. Well, actually, I think it was two postings back now. We dropped a little hint in there that John and I have actually been talking about bringing Rochelle back for a 3rd volume with Silverline.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
And there folks probably remember Rochelle from I know Antarctic Press. And John, I forget who did the other one.
AC Comics. Well, she made her debut. She made her debut on issue 170 of FemForce.
FemForce, okay.
Who knows AC Comics? And
right.
What happened there was we actually created the original Rochelle as a black and white comic. And I was friends with Bill Black, and he liked it, and he offered me a spot on the back of kind of like a flip book with FemForce 70. And it was cool. That was my first published comic. I was pretty excited about it.
Yeah, cool.
It got noticed by Ben and Joe Dunn over at Antarctic Press, and they made me an offer to come over and do a couple of runs with them. And we did, but then I got so tied up in the pro wrestling stuff that Rochelle kind of slid to the side. I wasn't put away fully in the drawer, but kind of stuck up on the shelf until I could get some free time to come back. And something I won't bring up tonight, Roland knows what I'm going to talk about or what I'm going to hint at, but something fairly exciting has come across my desk that has enticed me to bring Rochelle back, which hopefully can be promising for not only Rochelle, but for, hopefully the entire Silverline line.
Yeah, there's some exciting stuff, and it is very, very, very exciting possibilities, we should say. So
absolutely. In fact, I spoke to the exciting informant who told me who was just kind of picking my brain as to whether any more workings are going on that, and so
cool. So
for
those of you who may not be familiar with Rochelle, we do have John has gone into his library, his archives, and has supplied 10 copies. I was trying to find it here so I could look at it at the same time. 10 copies of where's it at? Hold on, make sure I get it right. Scrolled too far looking at the artwork here. So we got 10 copies of volume 1, the trade paperback, and 10 copies of volume 2 in the issues 1, 2, and 3. So there are 10 of those. So only 10 available.
Through the Kickstarter?
Through the Kickstarter. Yep.
We are looking over it now on the stream. You can see the Rochelle first reward tier.
Yep. And John, long story. I'm going to add images. They're not up there right now. It's a really long story about my computer crash and all kinds of stuff. So they're going to get up there, as well as this other reward tier that you mentioned to me. And we'll make an announcement after we're a couple of days in, and we'll add that as a new tier. So.
Okay, because I'm not sure which one you were talking about, because I know there's a couple we discussed.
Okay, well, I'm going to be mysterious to everybody listening, but to you, I'll send you an email.
It's the one where you send them trimmings of your beard.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. So so this is going to be a flip book. This is going to be the 3rd flip book that we've done as part of our Kickstarters. On the opposite side, on the flip side, is going to be. Let me dig out my It's going to be Switchblade #1 Remix. Okay. Now let me tell you about the remix. This is Switchblade #1 from 1997. Note, it is printed on newsprint. And for those of you who remember newsprint, it's just one step above toilet paper. So it's very porous and yeah. But it's black and white
and black and white
in black and white in the 90s. What we have done is we have taken this issue, we have digitally remastered all of the black and white artwork, line work, and we have colored it. And I think Tim is probably showing some of the
probably to it now.
Okay, so we have digitally remastered all of the line work, and we have colored it. All the book has been colored by Aidan Belcher. If that name is familiar to you independent comic fans, that's because Aidan is the colorist of his dad's comic, Man in the Mask. So I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Aidan's the only one who's colored Man in the Mask. But we were able to get Aidan from Mike. And he did a fantastic job on all 3 issues. In fact, all 3 of those issues are done already. That's one thing I should add. Both comics are finished. Team Beetle #1 is finished. Switchblade #1 is finished. If you look at the Kickstarter, you know that we've got a couple of covers that we're still tweaking. But I've already tweaked one tonight. I got some stuff in. I just sent John an email with that image, John. So, and it is.
I haven't even seen it yet. There you go.
Yep. And so I expect the colors for the other one. And I think one of them up there has pencils. Tommy has already inked it, so I've got to do some updanking.
Keeping it dank.
Updating on the images.
No, I think you got the inks of mine.
Oh, do I? Okay, good. I know that when I was working with them earlier today, they were in pencil form, but I have seen colors of that cover, Tommy. So
cool. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
what Jeremy did.
Yep, I asked him to. He just showed me, a little through Messenger. Showed me the little, and I asked him to do 1 or 2 little things to it. And so I expect I'll probably have it tonight or tomorrow, and I'll be able to update that. So, and Roberta has sent me the colors for the Switchblade cover. So I expect
she has given us to show off on stream. We showed it off earlier as a stand-in for John.
Oh,
yeah, we did.
As a stand-in for John. Yeah, so that should be finished as well. So I'll have to get that put in, the logo and everything on it, and get that updated onto the Kickstarter. There's a note on there that says, hey, these. Oh yeah, that's it. Gorgeous. Yeah, I don't know how behind I am over the YouTube stream.
Sounds like a minute or 2, but that's
okay.
All right. That's about normal.
All right. So let me tell you. Let's spend 30 seconds to tell you about Switchblade. Switchblade is the story of Scott Nathan, who is he's just a normal guy. He is a boxer. Story is set in New Orleans, and like many of us, he finally reaches a frustration level with the justice system. And after a local girl a young girl, an elementary age school girl is killed, he's just had enough. And so he takes to the streets at night and seeks to met out vigilante justice. And he becomes a bit of a little local hero, kind of where he is in his little New Orleans section there. He uses knives, which is the reason they call him Switchblade. And so, yeah, it's a bit of vigilante justice served up along the lines of it's street level superheroes along the lines of a Batman or a Daredevil. He doesn't have superpowers like Daredevil, but it's that kind of story. So, and it is set in New Orleans. Fun fact for those of you who are Cat and Mouse fans, he actually shows up in the first issue of volume 2 of Cat and Mouse, the new one that's going on, the story that's going on now. He is in that issue. I secretly hid him in there somewhere. So if you've got Cat and Mouse 1, go look for him, because he's not hidden that well.
We are slowly building to the Silverline Avengers level event where all of our heroes take on Bear.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's a flip book, which means that you get one book on one side, you flip it over, and then the other book is on the other side, so it's all under one cover. And there's lots of cool other cool tiers. Del Barris, who's the artist for Teen Beetle, is going to do some. He has some commissions. I want to say there's 10 of those available as well. And we've already mentioned the Rochelle verse, and there's some original artwork from Switchblade. These pages are 20 years old.
Wow, so, I didn't know you still had.
I didn't either. And actually, you can ask John this. I had emailed him at one point in time. I said, "Do you have any original art? Because I don't." And and I was looking for tiers, and then as I was flipping through some of the art, I'm like, "Oh, the Switchblade pages! What the heck?" So,
nice. I'm going to interrupt here, but I hope everyone has their adult diapers on.
Uh-oh.
So we went live less than 20 minutes ago with the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We're already up to about $300.
Whoa! Hey, cool.
Nice.
Wow, very cool. Thank you, whoever's out there doing it. I appreciate that.
People wanted their early
They must
rewards.
be young because us old people, it's past our bedtime.
Or they're over here. It's only about 8 o'clock. We know
Okay.
Golden Girls hasn't come on yet, so.
10 backers, and we're $2 away from $300. That's great.
Wow. So, John, you and I, we got to put our heads together and think about maybe some way to incentivize. It looks like John may be frozen. Oh, there he goes. Incentivize folks to maybe pledge while you and I are together at DeLand this weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've tried to always do whenever we've done a launch. You're frozen now, actually. But when I've launched a few of my wrestling books, we've tried to time that with shows.
Yeah. I think it's I think we're seeing. Is it just me, or are you guys seeing John all robotic?
A little bit of chop.
Fidgeting. Yeah, it could. Honestly, it could be my phone dying because I was doing that long Zoom before I logged in with you guys.
Okay. Well, I think we're about running out of time anyway.
Amy Stephanie's saying good night. See you next week. Amy. Thank you for the pleasant conversation.
Sticking around. Yep.
Smack John.
Absolutely.
Amy. I meant Amy to smack John.
All righty. So we are about ready to pop off. Roland, you didn't give us any of your picks of 2020 yet. Speed round, any picks for 2020?
Speed round 2020. Let's see. What movie did I see that I really, really liked? I will tell you the biggest disappointment was Tenet, because that was built up so much, and we went to see it when it was released, and
y'all went to the theater to see it.
Yeah, we went to the theaters to see it. I was expecting. I didn't hate it, but it was like when we left, I'm like, everybody was talking about, so I didn't like that so much. For books, I reread The Red Badge of Courage. This is probably about the 10th time I've read it, and I read the cover off of this one. Literally, I read the cover off of it. It's one that it's the first. I read the copy of the first book, the first edition of that I ever got when I was like 7, 8 years old, and the cover fell off of it as I was reading it this time. So that was kind of sad. Music, because I don't think you guys did music, did you?
No, we didn't touch on it. No.
I discovered Eric. Eric Gillette. Saw him live a couple of years ago, and this past year discovered he had a solo album. So I bought his solo album, and that was probably my musical highlight of the year. Neil Morse probably comes in a good, his new album from last year, a good second. Movies. I can't think of anything I really loved.
Bill and Ted Part 3. You said you liked it.
As far as TV shows, I'm going to say probably for me, probably Cobra Kai was a highlight. I have not. I've heard some. I know Barry has talked about season 3 quite a bit on Facebook, and I haven't. I've only watched like the first episode of
I've not seen any of it.
Yeah,
you guys all keep talking about it, but I've not watched it.
It's real. I've really enjoyed it. I thought for me it was a a Netflix highlight that caught me by surprise.
Don't feel bad. I haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
But I've seen.
I mean, I guess
features.
I never really liked the Karate Kid movies either. So, and that's,
well, then okay. So if you didn't like the Karate Kid movies, you probably won't like it.
yeah.
Because it is
Well, I didn't
Karate
think
Kid.
that they were terrible. I just, it's like,
Yeah.
Karate Kid movie, ooh, doing the kicking thing. It's like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, it's I think what I like about it is that they take the same characters from the original TV.
The idea of it's
movie.
kind of cool.
Yeah, and now the two opponents are adults. And they're still kind of at each other. So it's we've enjoyed it quite a bit. Games. I probably would say, I know I asked you guys about Steam. That's pretty much the only place I play games these days. Because if I'm going to play console, the only thing I have is an Xbox 360. So I'm still playing, NCAA 2014, I think.
A little old.
Yeah, but they're just so doggone expensive. I can't afford a new one. Steam, I probably played... what was the new one I played? The Grand Tactician was released. It's an American Civil War game. It covers the whole scope of the war, politics, recruitment, battles. Once your armies get close enough together, you can actually zoom in and command them. And so it becomes like Total War essentially. Yes. It's not as the battles aren't as good as Total War because Total War is like really good, but the giant map is much better, and the rest of the controls you have.
All right, not to derail us too much, but Roland, are you familiar at all with Victoria?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I played that.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that Victoria 2 has the House Divided DLC.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I have played that
all the way from Civil War to World War One. So being a World War One nerd, that's been my jam for a little bit.
So I'll tell you something funny, Tim. So before the House Divided came out, Brett and I, because there's a function in the game where the South actually secedes.
Yeah.
And so what Brett and I would do is that we got it to the point in that game where the South seceded, we saved it, and then he and I would go in and play it. One of us is the North and one of us is the South, and we wouldn't go to war.
Yeah.
He would he was usually the South, and he would go and attack Mexico while I would go and attack Canada.
It's the Pax Americana, but a little different. Our go-to was always taking the Flanders Wars that happened in the 1800s. And it's essentially turning like the Netherlands and Denmark into these insane superpowers. So by the time Prussia got antsy, we're like, no, bro.
Yeah. I think I played a Total War game at Christmas, in which I went in as the Russians, a campaign game. I went in as the Russians, and I think by about 1750, I owned basically all of. I went to war with the Ottomans, but I got peace with them at Istanbul. So the Black Sea was kind of our divider. I let them have everything south of the Black Sea, and but I conquered all of Sweden and Norway and that area there. And I had a good relationship with Poland, so we were. I was just going to war with Austria.
Yeah, you're a tyrant.
Give me some guns. I have a hard time. Brett laughs at me. I have a hard time when war gets to be 3D. And by what I mean is that, when I'm playing games that I have infantry, cavalry, and artillery, I'm fine. But when you add in the 3D, the depth of an airplane, I have a hard time. I have a hard time figuring out the battle because it just adds in a completely different element that, I know where a hill is, so I can put my cannons on it and protect it, right? But you introduce planes into it, and I have a difficult time with it.
That's why I like Hearts of Iron. When the air support is just a support element attached to an army.
Yeah, pretty much. So those are my highlights, I reckon.
All right. Well, it is 8:07 on the left coast, west coast. I'm running out of coast. All right, but it is that time where we wish you a good night. Remember, our Kickstarter is live now, and you can go buy some
Look,
indie
it's almost at
comics.
$400 already.
All
Oh, wow.
right.
After you
Jumped
load.
up a few months.
Wow, yeah.
But it is, again, our Kickstarter is complete. They always are. They are fair trade, organically sourced comics ready for you.
Ready to go.
Yep. And we will be at Deland Comic Con, as well as our sponsor, Daytona Beach Comic Con. Look them up at DaytonaBeachComicCon.com for updates on the official dates. I believe they already have their locations set. We're just waiting on the update on the date, so be on the lookout for that. and
Usually
we'll
in
see you there.
October.
Yeah,
Yes,
usually.
they said
yeah.
fall/winter is on their website, so check that out. Set your notifications on, and we will see you around. And until that time, we're going to pull our bracelets out in unison, and we're going to say, "Make mine,
Silverline.
All right. Good night, all.
Good